Hello, my name is Cassie Davenport, and here I wanted to reflect a little bit about my journey over the last 2 years in the Boise State Master's in Educational Technology program. So to begin, I'm going to reflect on this first lesson of reflections on my own learning. Early on in the program, I was offered the opportunity to create an annotated bibliography that would not only help revisit different research skills and APA writing style, but also give me the opportunity to research a topic that I myself was interested in. So I jumped on the chance to research more about the role of technology instructional coaches, because at the time I was really new in that field. And so I learned a lot of things, just how the research is going with that topic, but also the best ways that technology instructional coaches can help and support their teachers. And I learned that they are both advocates for the internal or growth mindset of teachers, but also the external, helping them with the tool, the technology that's available to them. And so with that, I also learned that technology instructional coaches can help teachers develop their own personal learning network or environment where they can help their teachers understand the importance of this community of learners, communicating with other teachers that are looking to grow, sharing those ideas in different sharing communities, and continuing just to learn and organize these different things that they're finding to use in their classroom. And so myself, also learned a lot about Twitter throughout this program. And I have come a long way with my understanding of how beneficial this can be for educators, and using different hashtags and ways to connect with different technology educational instructional coaches, and then also just different teachers, and learning of the resources that I have to share and that they are sharing out there as well. And so with that, I, as a technology instructional coach, have also revamped my blog that I share with teachers. So throughout the year, I have coaching cycles and also tech talk opportunities where we reflect on different topics that teachers want access to as they look to integrate these things into their classrooms. So in the blog, I house these different tech talk experiences that we have with teachers so they can go back, reflect, and find these resources again. So it was in one of my programs that I really vamped up this blog for my teachers. So in 537, I learned a lot about blogging style, bringing in guest bloggers, different narratives and ways that you can use your blog. And now I've definitely brought that into my own practice with teachers at my school, and it's been very beneficial. Thank you.
Hello and welcome back. In this segment, I'm going to talk about the art and science of teaching. I just wanted to share that good teaching really reflects a really good teacher planning. So a teacher is going to plan for all aspects of learning using standards-based objectives, opportunities for inquiry, also things from student discourse to modifications and differentiation. So there are a lot of pieces that go into good teaching. And with that, it reminds me of this quote from our instructional design course. It's well-designed instruction captures the attention of learners and prompts them to interact with content. And so I was able in my project-based learning course to develop a project that would really engage students. So my project-based learning focuses on discovering flight. And so students are investigating and responding to an authentic problem, which I developed for this 30-day course here. So we have a driving instruction that really gets students motivated. We have some entry events using some digital videos to get students engaged. And then you can see all the other components that go into good planning. So we have our overview. We have our products and performances that students are going to do that really tie to a rubric. We have assessments and checks for understanding throughout. Different timelines, different tools for the teacher. So really thinking through those differentiation means, but also different things that teachers can use to make their students successful. So you can see good planning went into this project-based learning opportunity. And then at Boise State, I was also able to create an instructional design plan. And the topic that I chose was Twitter for educators. And so through this, I was able to come up with my goal for my professional development that I was writing, and using a needs assessment survey with my own staff was to was able to develop then learning objectives to really create an authentic professional development course that I broke down into 4 segments, which I actually was then able to deliver to my staff. And I've shared this with other technology instructional coaches who have used it with their staff. So that's exciting to see my instructional design move throughout the school district. But here I was able to host on my blog, which I perfected through my classroom blogging course at Boise State. So here you can see those different sessions that I mentioned, and teachers were able to refer to this throughout and then also can get back to it after the fact as they're looking to increase their understanding of Twitter use as a professional and also for their own classroom. So thank you for joining me. Next time we are going to look at the design and evaluation of instruction.
Hello, in this next segment, I'm going to talk about the design and evaluation of instruction. Throughout my time at Boise State, I learned a lot about evaluation and learned that I didn't know as much as I thought I did. Evaluation is very critical for instruction, evaluation and design, and that it allows for evidence-based decision-making with regards to a product or a tool, and not specifically the people who run that product. So sound evaluation procedures and practices are recommended so that stakeholders can gain the information that they need to make the decisions surrounding the product or the tool that's being evaluated. And with evaluation becomes better results, and it leads to accountability because you then can figure out the best modes of efficiency, effectiveness, and impact surrounding the topic that is being evaluated. So one sample of an evaluation that I was able to do through the program and have since now taken this into my own work, I was able to evaluate a blended learning program, ST Math, that my school district and school site use. So this program is used throughout the building, and we've been told by a lot of people that the program works well, and there's a lot of research behind the effectiveness. But I wanted to be able to share with my specific teachers the demographics within our own building and how it is or is not successful as a product for our students. So any good evaluation is going to reflect on the program's objectives. So using the objectives of the ST Math program, I was able to take some data and kind of calculate the effectiveness of the program when used with fidelity. So the different data measures, I then compared with the program at the different grade levels that are tested on national tests. So we had 3rd through 5th grade that I then kind of narrowed it down to, and those students who are above or below grade level on a district exam, and then also the national test. And the results showed that students who finished the program also scored more proficient on the national and state assessments, and this continued to decrease the less of the program that students were able to complete. And then again, you'll see there are only 7 proficient students when they have completed less than half of the program. So with this information, I was able to share with the teachers, administrators, stakeholders in my building the importance of the program for our specific students, and that results are clear for them. So this evaluation project has helped me become a better technology instructional coach, as I have the why behind the programs that we're using and can move forward and use this with other programs that the teachers have questions about. Welcome back. My next lesson is lesson 4, networking collaboration. Throughout my time at Boise State, I learned a lot about the importance of collaboration and networking. And this is one topic I have definitely taken into my work and has been very impactful for me personally, as I have upgraded and increased my personal learning networks and just different resources and ways that I gain information or share information with other coaches or teachers throughout the world. So I learned a lot about different learning theories, kind of reviewed my understanding of constructivism throughout my time at Boise State, but then learned more about connectivism and this idea that the digital era has really brought students together in the work that they're doing. So no longer are we learning like on our own independently, but rather from each other, collaborating with each other, and kind of viewing each other's own creations that are out there online. And so these connections are really an increase of learning that maybe was different than prior to the digital era. So because of the importance that I see with this idea of networking and collaboration, one of the projects that I had an opportunity to do with a colleague at Boise State was a kind of like a Moodle, but here you have Edmodo. We created an experience for teachers to learn more about this actual concept of creating and expanding their personal learning network and the power behind that. So we built it into 5 modules for teachers to work through. First, setting up their professional profile, this idea of social sharing or social bookmarking if they have resources that they want to share. And then, of course, Twitter, and then this idea of webinars, on-demand live webinars that are going to be teaching us things that we maybe don't even know are out there and scheduled. So finding those, learning from those. And then also just this idea of continuing to grow your personal learning network. So I've used this with different teachers at my building, and it was really fun to create just around this topic, this exact topic of expanding our own network. I also was able to curate some resources from the classroom perspective. So social networking for teaching and learning. So maybe I have some teachers who already have a professional account but are looking to bring their students into this powerful idea of social media. So I curated a bunch of different topics around this idea of elementary schools and the use of social media, be it a class Twitter account, and just the different successes that teachers have had, so that my teachers can look at these different resources as a way to get started with their classes as they look to open up the world through student writing and sharing and publishing with their parents or other classrooms. So these were 2 artifacts that really I felt shared my understanding of networking and collaboration. Thank you. Welcome back. This is lesson 5, the research practice connection. Through my time at Boise State in the master's program experience, I've come to learn that research is an ongoing process that occurs in an effort to improve strategies and results. Good teachers always strive to do what's best for kids, but sometimes are met with an ineffective means for professional development. And I've learned that it's important that teachers can help guide students and to determine the relative advantage of bringing in certain technological tools into the classroom. It's important that research around this field of educational technology continue so that well-intentioned teachers know what is the very best practice for student success. Throughout my time in the program, I focused heavily on teachers being advocates and educating themselves around technological tools and the advantages of bringing those into the classroom, whether or not that outweighs the previous lesson plan's results. And so in one of my courses, I was able to create a whole website dedicated to the relative advantage of different sorts of integrations within the classroom. So I'll share that with you now. So this kind of started with a vision and mission statement about integrating technology into the classroom and kind of the goals behind that, the standards, addressing this issue of professional development for teachers and teachers being technology advocates as they continue to educate themselves. Throughout this experience, I was able to create a relatives advantage chart, which is just something that's so useful to think about what is the reason for bringing in these tools into the room. Is it an improvement, or is it just a flashy tool that we're looking to try out, and really weighing the benefits? And so learning just different ways to use instructional softwares, bringing those into the classroom when they're most appropriate. Looking at video integration, different times we can utilize video in the classroom, using the internet, Google Forms, social media, different gaming pieces within a lesson plan. So really, as a teacher, creating quality lesson plans that may integrate technology that improves upon the lesson itself. And so with that, I wanted to thank you so much for taking the time to learn about my journey throughout the program at Boise State.